Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Wendy Chen. Thank you for joining us. Coming up in today's show, we join city volunteers in the Philippines on their second day of distribution to help Typhoon Bopha's flood victims. In our report on water protection, we travel to Brazil's Itapu Dam to investigate if the hydroelectric energy is environmentally friendly. And at this year's blessing ceremony in Taipei, volunteers expressed their gratitude towards their family members. First up in the Philippines, Mindanao Island, on the second day of Tzu Chi's relief distribution for the survivors of Typhoon Bopha, volunteers' charitable efforts moved several local Chinese entrepreneurs to give a helping hand.
Tzu Chi volunteers carefully explain the relief items that the recipients are going to pick up. 1 month after Typhoon Bopha, victims finally have the chance to get what they need the most.
I wanted to have these relief items since yesterday. It's a good thing that we have these things to use. We're only receiving food supplies such as rice. We haven't received useful items like these.
As Tzu Chi organized the 2-day aid distributions for 6,500 families, all the relief items were procured through the local Chinese business community, which also provided warehouses and trucks to facilitate the distribution.
We feel really honored to help Tzu Chi. I'm happy to provide warehouses and trucks to help out at the distributions.
As the distribution venue's roof was blown away, all worked together to clean up the mess. Some also put forth the idea of setting up a Tzu Chi liaison office on Mindanao Island.
The aid distribution is a meaningful event. We think it's good to set up a Tzu Chi office in Davao City, so future relief work can be mobilized as soon as possible.
Handing out the relief items in a respectful manner, government officials also joined the relief work. To thank Tzu Chi's dedication, the mayor of New Bataan presents a certificate of appreciation to the volunteers.
The certificate of appreciation is to show our gratitude to Tzu Chi.
The rally was also a disaster victims. Though she didn't receive a voucher for the relief items, she still finds joy in helping out.
We thought of helping too. You're not from here, yet you are willing to help the typhoon victims.
Despite the misery, these survivors will gain more strength as they get through the difficult times.
Moving to China, in Dongguan of Guangdong Province, Tzu Chi carries recipient Cao Chunzhou was paralyzed from the waist down after a collapsing wall injured her. The injury once left her emotionally devastated. Thankfully, Tzu Chi volunteers were there with encouragement and support. To share the happiness of her new home, Cao invited Tzu Chi volunteers for a housewarming party.
Moving into her new house is a milestone for Cao Chunzhou, who was left paralyzed from the waist down after an accident. With government compensation and her savings of many years, she was finally able to buy a house of her own.
Many things have happened to me over these years, but I feel that my sister has never given up on her dream of buying her own house. Although the accident left her paralyzed, she still kept working towards that goal.
I'm so touched, I'm so happy, and I can't put it into words.
Facing her paralysis, Cao once blamed her family, but thankfully with the volunteers' support, she gradually left her negative thinking behind. Before Cao moved into her new house, the volunteers thoughtfully refurbished it.
Getting close to the balcony terrifies me. Look at the ceramic tiles here. This part is higher, and the handrails on the balcony were rusty. If I rushed over carelessly, I might fall down.
We volunteers also learned a lot through the process of caring for her. She used to be a miserable person, but look at her now. She has improved a lot.
As Cao moves into her new place, the volunteers are there to give her their blessings. On this joyful occasion, a bowl of sweet rice ball soup is worth its weight in gold.
At this year's winter aid distribution in China's Yunnan province, city volunteers arrived in Malutang township of Kunming City to carry out a distribution to help 3,900 families from 7 villages. Among the residents who came to pick up their aid supplies was 12-year-old Chen Long. On the day of Tziji's winter aid distribution, despite the temperatures being 4 degrees below zero, residents are lining up bright and early, as this is the first distribution held by non-government organizations in years.
The drought over the past 3 years has resulted in poor harvest of potatoes and corn, which are the residents' main source of income. On average, they don't even make 1,900 renminbi, so that's why we have decided to carry out distributions for all 7 villages.
Among the residents waiting in line is 12-year-old Chen Long, who is here with his grandmother to pick up the relief items. Though young in age, the boy carries the rice on his shoulders.
几公斤？35。那你扛多少个米啊
？2包米是几公斤？30。30啊，快要跟你一样重啊。
Chen Long, a 6th grader, has always been a thoughtful child. And with his parents working in the city, the responsibility of taking care of his grandparents and doing household chores have fallen on his shoulders. When he misses his parents, Chen draws them on a piece of paper.
This is my older brother, this is my dad, and that's my mom. This is my younger brother and my cousin. I miss them, so that's why I draw them. This was my happiest moment in the new year.
I told him not to miss his parents too much and to study hard. When he grows up, he should repay his parents and grandparents for their love.
The boy's home was destroyed in a tremor in 1996, and his parents took out a loan to rebuild their home. Today, the family still has some 40,000 renminbi of debt to repay. Thus, his mom and stepfather now work in the city to earn more cash.
Dad and Mom, I hope you repay your debt soon and come back to spend some time with me. I miss you a lot.
Many pray for success and prosperity for the coming new year, but Chen Long only has the simple wish of reuniting with his family as soon as possible. Brazil's Itapu Dam is one of the world's largest hydroelectricity producing dams, but what looks to be a green renewable energy is perhaps masking a bigger problem of dislocated residents and the deforestation of the Amazon. In today's series on water protection, we take a look at the Itapu Dam and how maybe it's not the clean renewable energy that it has been advertised to be.
Iguazu Falls is one of the natural wonders of the world. Every day, many people visit the fall and stand in its magnificent beauty as they take in its breathtaking view. It is really a must-see on every tourist's list. Walking 23 kilometers downstream, Iguazu River merges with the Paraná River, the second largest river in South America. Once the rivers reach the borders of countries, divvying up water usage becomes complicated.
Here at the intersection of Brazil, Argentina and Paraguay is the river Paraná, but to whom does the water belong?
Itaipu Dam is built on the border of Brazil and Paraguay and is about 5 Taipei cities wide and 250 meters deep.
Behind me is the Itaipu Dam, which every day produces 12,000 megawatts of electric power, thus making it the world's second largest dam. In Brazil, 88.8% of electrical power comes from self-renewable energy, and 80% of that renewable energy comes from hydropower.
When potential energy passes through a magnetic field, it becomes kinetic energy. How do we get electricity from water? We use a turbine. And how to turn a turbine? Using water levels.
It's a renewable source. It's one of the most feasible ways of producing large amounts of energy at a low cost.
In the long term, you don't have to pay for the gas or for the diesel. I mean, it's just the water. You don't have to pay for it. I mean, not much.
Itaipu Dam is already well known in its ability to produce massive hydropower. However, in southern Brazil, there are no more rivers to utilize. In order to expand its renewable energy sources, Brazil is looking north to the Amazon.
Although it's drought season here, you can still see how abundant the water flows behind me. This is one of the tributary rivers of the Amazon, the Xingu River. It's no wonder countries along the Amazon like Brazil, Paraguay and Peru wants to use the river's potential to expand their infrastructures.
So nowadays we can double the hydropower production in Brazil if we go to the Amazon.
Brazil is currently building the world's third largest dam, the Belo Monte Dam, on the Xingu River. Because of the exploitation of natural water sources, out of the 177 largest rivers of the world, only 64 of them are still free from human interference.
Obviously, you have to deviate the rivers, so you change the features of the river. You dry some parts and you make the flood bigger in some other parts. And if you don't have the same forest, according to the dry season in the Amazon and the wet season, this is also going to be deregulated.
The world and the Brazilian people knows very little about this region and about Xingu River. So we don't know exactly what we will lose.
If not knowing what the losses are, is the low cost to gain large amounts of energy worth paying for?
Tomorrow we take a look at the building of Belo Monte Dam to see the conflict between development pressures and the need to protect the environment. Back to today's program in Malaysia, Tzu Chi volunteer Tang Fengyi led 22 students from her after-school tutoring class in taking part in the sign language performance of the upcoming year-end blessing ceremony.
Teacher Tang Fengyi invited the 22 students of her after-school tutoring class to join her in the performance of the Water Repentance Sutra.
Some of the little ones are less confident. Most of them give up along the way because they feel it's too difficult. Arranging transportation can also be a headache.
It's easier said than done. She has to communicate with the parents, direct them while they are rehearsing, organize their transport, and even prepare snacks for them.
Even when faced with obstacles, Tang always finds ways to overcome each challenge, making what seems impossible possible.
I believe in this cause. That's why I want my students to take part. This is the greatest gift I can give them.
Tang also invites other volunteers to her class to guide her students, bringing the teacher-student relationship one step closer together.
I used to be a mean and overbearing teacher in their eyes, but now I feel there is more closeness between us. We are more like friends than teacher and student, so I am truly delighted and grateful.
Enlightened by the words of wisdom in the sutra, the experience has brought spiritual growth not only for Tang, but her students as well.
In Taiwan, volunteers in Penghu held their annual year-end blessing ceremony earlier this month. Altogether, over 1,000 participants arrived at the local Jingsi Hall to offer their blessings for the new year, with some even traveling by boats from Niaoyu to take part in a once-a-year event.
Winter in Taiwan's Penghu means strong winds and high breakers, making sea travel uncomfortable at best. However, Shi Long-er from Niaoyu, along with 11 other friends, made the boat trip to Magong City, where Tzu Chi's year-end ceremony was being held.
No, it was okay. It was fine, even if the wind is a little strong today.
Every year around this time, residents come together at Penghu's Jingsi Hall to celebrate the new year. Led by Dharma Master from Jingsi Abode, participants reflect on the year past and pray for the year ahead.
We have all seen how this world is so chaotic. Tzu Chi does so much that is good. I brought my child to experience and reflect on this day.
Seeing the warm-hearted volunteers working to save so many people in distress, I was so moved.
At the event, everyone comes together as one family. In addition to team of volunteers offering free blood pressure checks, many participants brought filled bamboo coin banks to be collected by the volunteers.
Every
year the red envelopes we receive are different, so like the master said, we keep them to remember this day.
As the day ends, each participant receives a blessing and wisdom red envelope from the hands of a Dharma Master, representing the warmth and blessings of Tzu Chi volunteers around the world. With the envelopes in hand, everyone prays for the upcoming year will be one of peace and harmony.
At this year's Commissioner Certification Ceremony in Taipei, many newly certified volunteers spoke of their gratitude towards their family, and many also seized the opportunity to donate to become honorary board members. Lin Zifeng, who retired 2 months ago, is receiving her Commissioner Certification to become a full-time volunteer.
I mostly want to thank my husband for supporting me in becoming a full-time volunteer, and I am also grateful that he has accompanied me through the certification ceremony.
It is their family support that allows Tzu Chi volunteers to devote themselves to charity work. For Zhao Leli, it was her daughter's recognition that has strengthened her determination to walk the Tzu Chi path.
When we were singing the sutra, I was really moved. I felt that my daughter is cultivating the Buddhist path with me.
After I graduate and when I can help my mom more, I will come back to do good deeds with her. I will be happy to be able to fulfill my mom's dream with her.
Tzu Chi volunteer Chen Juzhen also seizes the opportunity to donate on behalf of his family.
I feel that we cannot wait to cultivate blessings, so I want to donate to become an honorary board member.
We are happier than before, so I will join Tzu Chi with my parents.
Another volunteer, Chen Shu-mei, is grateful for her husband's support and has decided to donate on his behalf so he can become an honorary board member. Tong Wen-tong, who ended his business to take care of his ill father, also donated money under his parents' name and is taking part in this year's volunteer training.
I ended my business a year ago, and now I want to devote myself to volunteer work. I was quite lucky to be able to join training last year, and I will begin my formal training this year.
Knowing the impermanence of life, Tzu Chi volunteers all seize the opportunity to do good deeds and fulfill their filial duties. In Taiwan, from Taipei's Banqiao, newly certified Commissioner Li Gongxian had a past addiction to gambling, which left him heavily in debt. However, after the 9/1 earthquake, Li's wife Lin Shoufang joined Tzu Chi. Seeing his wife's positive changes gradually influenced Li to change as well.
This year, Li Gongxian officially became a certified Tzu Chi commissioner, making his wife's dreams come true in the process.
I lost more than 10 million gambling the Mark 6 Lotto, and I ended up in debt. My wife didn't leave me, nor did she give up on me. Later, when I met Tzu Ji, I turned over a new leaf. Now I find true happiness in Tzu Ji.
It was after the 91 earthquake that Ling Shoufang first met Tzu Ji. Over the past decade, Ling urged her husband to pay off his gambling debt and also do charitable deeds. Although life has been difficult, Ling never once complained.
I made a vow to turn my husband's gambling money into donations, and I'll continue doing so. My goal is to also donate money to Tzu Ji's honorary board in my children's name.
Since joining Tzu Ji, Ling has found her center once more, while Li has been gradually influenced by his wife's changes. In 2011, through their participation in the Water Repentance Sutra, happiness also found its way back into the family.
Doing recycling is like gathering people's unwanted blessings, and since I have done it for so long, I must have accumulated a lot of blessings to get my husband back.
Finding his direction in life again, Li has turned over a new leaf. He has taken on the responsibilities of a media volunteer and helps capture the moments of Tzu Ji's goodness and beauty.
I didn't know how to operate 3C products before, but now I know a thing or two. I enjoy being a media volunteer, and I feel extremely fulfilled.
Regaining their happiness once more, this husband-wife pair is not only reunited with one heart and one vow, they also promise to spread the spirit to even more people.
Staying in Taiwan but moving to Taoyuan, we meet volunteer Chen Junhong, who was born with a mild intellectual disability and was often made fun of when he was younger. Luckily, he met Tzu Ji and has learned to forgive. Let's hear his story.
Knowing that he learns differently from others, Chen Junhong practices the sign language movements whenever he has spare time. Although the delicate movements are hard to get right, Chen does his best.
My mom had a difficult labor when giving birth to me. I remember that my mom said I still couldn't walk when I was 2 or 3.
Chen was born with a slight intellectual disability. Growing up, this hindrance was a constant obstacle. It was not until he joined Tzu Ji that he felt unconditional acceptance from those around him, and that love has given him hope for the future.
I want to help Master Zheng Yan open up a Jinsi Books and Cafe.
Chen hopes a Jinsi Books and Cafe can open in China's Guangzhou province, where his parents are currently working.
I've been here for a year and 9 months. My job is to help with restocking. Sometimes I work with purchasing new stock.
Chen's parents have been delighted to see his dedication to Tzu Ji, where he has learned to do good works and be filial. Thanks to his hard work and dedication, when getting up on stage, Chen's movements are crisp and clear as he shows the world that with the right intention, nothing is impossible.
To celebrate the beginning of a new year, the Tzu Ji Canada chapter organized a reunion banquet for Tzu Ji volunteers and their families. Volunteers who are taking part in the performance at the upcoming year-end blessing ceremony all seize the opportunity to practice their sign language movements. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you for tuning in. Goodbye.